Okay, hold on. You love it, and you want it, and you picked it out, but you don't want it for school. Can you tell me why?
Because last time I wore a dress to school, everybody called me a girl.
Oh. Well, what did we learn from My Shadow is Pink?
Even when you wear a dress, you're not a girl.
What makes a shirt for a boy or a girl?
Nothing.
So do you want this? You picked it out.
I do want it.
You want to wear it all the time at home, but not at school, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I don't want to get made fun of, and that's what they always do when I wear pink and stuff.
I'm sorry,
But
baby.
not when I do it only on special occasions.
What makes you like dresses so much?
I just like dresses.
Do you think bright, pretty colors and dresses and sequins and jewels and golds, all the things that you always want to wear, do you think that's your innermost you?
It is.
Well, how are you going to be your innermost you when we live in a place that people think clothing belongs to particular gender? It's a trick, isn't it? You know your mommy gets made fun of by people for looking like this too. What do you think about that?
Nope. That's just wrong.
All right, guys, so that is the sad, unfortunate trend that we're seeing in this country that is being pushed on young kids, okay? And again, the most unfortunate part about this is that it's not just coming from the schools, but it's also coming from the parents as well, okay? And this is something that, I've been talking about in regards to the social influence that is pushing kids into these lifestyles and to adopt these habits that are not traditional, right? That's not what boys are supposed to be doing. Boys aren't supposed to be wearing dresses, okay? And their parents damn sure isn't supposed to be encouraging them to do that, right? That young boy stood no chance. He stands no chance, okay? He will probably grow up forever confused and probably have some issues in life because his parents have failed him, okay? Where's that boy's father, right? But I showed that video, guys, because I think it was like the perfect intro to what we're going to talk about in the clip that I'm going to play here, in which Bill Maher actually went off on this subject last night, right? The subject of this lifestyle being pushed on children. And he goes as far as to claim that they're actually experimenting on kids, okay? And this is something that is, again, happening because of social influence. He argues that it is going too far. Now, again, as a classical liberal here, Bill Maher, once again, is speaking out against the Democrat Party official platform, right? They've officially endorsed teachers being able to talk to kids about, sex and gender and all that other stuff, basically, pushing their ideology on kids and influencing kids. That is a part of the official Democrat Party platform. I do think his monologue here was pretty good, so I want to play it for you guys because he made a lot of great points that I actually made in this debate that I'm posting tonight between me and two transgender women, also featuring another guy as well too, Mr. Dr. Usher. I don't want to leave him out, but I'm just saying, y'all can check out that debate tonight if you want to. It'll be posted at 8 p.m. So before we get in this, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can do so using the links in the description below. You support the Patreon, you support the PayPal, you support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this clip of Bill Maher arguing that there's a social experiment being done on our kids in which they're pushing these lifestyles on them, something that everybody on the right and conservatives have been screaming about for the last couple years. Take a look.
And finally, new rule: if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, Less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z. Which means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054. I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that? All the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops, All Berries? It wasn't that long ago when adults asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They meant what profession? In the wake of America about to lose abortion rights, the ACLU recently tweeted a list of those who would be disproportionately harmed by this. You would think women might top that list? No, wasn't even on the list. Second on the list was LGBT. Really? Abortion rights affects gay and trans people more than, you know, breeders? I'm happy for LGBT folks that we now live in an age where they can live their authentic lives openly. And we should always be mindful of respecting and protecting. But someone needs to say it. Not everything's about you. And it's okay to ask questions about something that's very new and involves children. The answer can't always be that anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right, trump card, mic drop, end of discussion. Because we're literally experimenting on children. Maybe that's why Sweden and Finland have stopped giving puberty blockers to kids. Because we just don't know much about the long-term effects. Although common sense should tell you that when you reverse the course of raging hormones, there's going to be problems. We do know it hinders the development of bone density, which is kind of important if you like having a skeleton. Fertility and the ability to have an orgasm seem also to be affected. This isn't just a lifestyle decision, it's medical. Weighing trade-offs is not bigotry. Yet when a book questioning the sudden uptick in transitioning children was released, a trans lawyer with the ACLU named Chase Strangio tweeted, "Stopping the circulation of this book and these ideas is 100% a hill I will die on." How very civil liberties of him. Compared to trans, gay is practically cis, and cis is practically Mormon. And this is a phenomenon we need to take into account when we look at this issue. Yes, part of the rise in LGBT numbers is from people feeling free enough to tell it to a pollster, and that's all to the good. But some of it is, it's trendy. Penis equals man? Okay, boomer. Remember, the prime directive of every teen is anything to shock and challenge the squares who brought you up. And if you haven't noticed that with kids, doing something for the likes is more important than their own genitals, you haven't been paying attention. Dr. Erica Anderson is a prominent 71-year-old clinical psychologist who is herself transgender and who now says, "I think it's gone too far." The LA Times summarizes, "She's come to believe that some children identifying as trans are falling under the influence of their peers and social media. If you attend a small dinner party of typically very liberal, upper-income Angelenos, it is not uncommon to hear parents who each have a trans kid having a conversation about that. What are the odds of that happening in Youngstown, Ohio? If this spike in trans children is all natural, why is it regional? Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them. If we can't admit that in certain enclaves there is some level of trendiness to the idea of being anything other than straight, then this is not a serious science-based discussion. It's a blow being struck in the culture wars using children as cannon fodder."
I mean, he's right, right? I mean, he said the same things that everybody on the right and conservatives have been saying. This is not natural, okay? This is being socially engineered through one way or the other, right? I mean, we're talking about in the classroom or we're talking about at home where you have parents like these woke, radical leftist parents that are pushing this stuff on their kids, right? That social media, okay, peers, okay, you got, friends that may, be into this lifestyle or whatever because their parents are pushing it on them because they learn it in school or whatever. And it's infectious, man. It really is. It just spreads. Okay, and all these kids, because they're so easily influenced, right? They want to be cool. They want to be trendy. They want to be popular on social media. They want to get clicks. They want to get likes. One of the easiest way to do it is to come out and say, hey, I'm a transgender kid. Look at me. I'm different, right? Look at my rainbow flag. Look at the fact I'm a boy and I wear dresses, or I'm a girl, and I dress like a boy and I got a boy's name and I have chest binders and I'm on puberty blockers and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And the sad part, the messed up part about it is that the woke revolutionaries try to act like this stuff is safe, right? Oh no, well, they're just socially transitioning. But social transitioning leads to medical transition, taking puberty blockers and hormone treatments. And then they try well, there's no side effects, right? It's 100% safe. Don't worry about it, right? Blocking somebody's puberty, that won't have any effect on them, right? Meanwhile, Europe, our European partners, our progressive, allies over there, right, that get ahead of this stuff before we do, are finding out, oh no, maybe this stuff is not all that safe. For example, in May 2021, Karolinska University, a hospital, stopped administrating hormone blockers in transgender children because of the side effects, right? And the fact that there was serious injuries that resulted from the use of these medical treatments, right? 13 out of 440 children, again, experienced serious problems, serious issues. They were harmed by this stuff, and they stopped it. Like Bill Maher mentioned, there's a lot of countries in Europe, right, that are now saying, hey, you know what, we don't necessarily know if this stuff is safe, right? Let's back up on this, right? But again, over here in America, for as much as we want to be like Europe, we haven't seen that caught up with Europe when it comes to realizing that maybe we shouldn't be pushing this stuff on kids. I think the peer pressure factor is one of the prime factors in regards to why we're seeing this trend happen, in which every single generation, guys, like Bill Maher pointed out, is becoming more LGBTQ. They're identifying as LGBTQ. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that being LGBTQ is bad. That's not what I'm saying. But don't sit and try to tell me that is something that is happening naturally. Again, some of that is, people being more comfortable saying, hey, I have these feelings, this is my sexuality, whatever, right? And that's fine. I have no problems with that whatsoever, right? Be the best version of yourself. But also a lot of it is simply just it being the cool thing to do, right? I've actually talked to parents who have kids, 14-year-old daughter, whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm pansexual, right? Pansexual, okay? Where did she get that from? Well, she didn't get it from the mom. She got it from the friends, right? She got it from in school. Because, again, it's the trendy thing to do, okay? And that's the problem, man. Social media, apps like TikTok, Snapchat, they're heavily influenced kids. They're chasing the high of the likes, right? I'm so serious. They're chasing the dopamine high of getting the likes, okay? I'm so serious. But with that being said, my question for Bill Maher is the same question I had for him the last time I made a video about it. Why is it that you're aware of all these things, right? This isn't the first time that Bill Maher has spoke out against something that the Democrat Party has endorsed. He does that quite a bit. That seems to be what his show kind of is about now, right? Going against the woke left. You know that the Democrat Party has endorsed this stuff. This has become their official position, okay? Because they were opposed to the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, aka the Parental Rights and Education bill that prevents teachers from having these conversations with kids in school, that leads them to identifying with this lifestyle. They were opposed to that, which means they support that type of stuff. They support all the stuff that you just ran it against. But for whatever reason, you still vote Democrat. I don't understand. I don't get it, right? And during this same show, he actually criticized Elon Musk for coming out and saying that he would vote Republican. He was like, I don't necessarily know if I'll go that far, right? I think that's a little bit too far. This is why I had to part ways with you, Elon, right? You're going to vote for the Republicans. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell do you have to lose at this point? The Democrat Party has become a party of the far left. You know that. That's why you have a monologue about it every week on your show. So why can't you have the cojones to, at the very least, say, hey, you know what? I will no longer vote Democrat as long as they stand up for things like this, right? Experiments on our kids, which is what you just argued, right? Because as long as you keep voting for the Democrat Party, you're complicit. You're complicit. You don't have to vote Republican, but you can at least say, hey, I'm not voting Democrat anymore, right? But he won't do that. So I don't get it. I don't understand how you can be so aware of the extremism in your party. And I get the idea of wanting to call it out and call out your own party. But at some point, you got to take away that vote, man. Right? At some point, you got to take away the vote. Because if you don't take away the vote, then none of this means anything. Right? It's just empty words. For as much as I agree with it, you got to take away that vote, man. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.